Welcome back. Well, here's another reason backing the use of COVID booster shots. A UK study says protection against the virus in fully vaccinated people drops slightly within 6 months. The study, looking at those who got 2 doses of either the Pfizer-BioNTech or the AstraZeneca vaccines, goes on to say that this might explain recent breakthrough cases. Well, it is a race to get as many people vaccinated as possible, and we are hearing more reports of vaccine skeptics regretting their decision.
We are exhausted. Our patience and resources are running low, and we need your help.
Many of these patients have decided not to get vaccinated, but when they're hospitalized, they tell us they wish they had.
Well, the U.S. intelligence community has wrapped up its 90-day investigation into the origins of COVID-19, a review that President Biden ordered. There are 2 main theories. The first, that the virus spread naturally from animals to humans, and the second, that it leaked from a lab in Wuhan. While we wait for the report to be made public, CNN's David Culver takes a closer look.
The evidence supporting a lab leak for now is all circumstantial, starting with the lab's location. The BSL-4 lab, or Biosafety Level 4, is about 25 miles from the Huanan seafood market. That is where many of the first COVID-19 cases initially emerged.
I don't think anyone would disagree that the major first amplification occurred in Wuhan.
The Chinese have pushed back against the claim the virus was engineered. But if the first amplification was from a lab, that would suggest either a lab worker unknowingly got infected or that the virus was isolated and or manipulated in a lab and somehow got out, sparking concern over the type of research that might have been taking place here.
I'm not saying that they led to this outbreak or pandemic by any means, but it's simply the kind of work that I think we as a scientific society need to think much more clearly and more deliberately about before we undertake it.
CNN spoke with a source directly involved with the construction of the BSL-4. Using their insight, along with information published by the Chinese before the outbreak, here's what we know. Planning and construction of the BSL-4 started in 2003. In 2018, it officially became operational. It's located on the sprawling, fenced-in Wuhan Institute of Virology campus. The building containing the lab sits separate. 4 levels make up the structure. At the top, a sophisticated air purification system. At the bottom and underneath the lab, decontamination equipment that allows for safe sewage disposal. Level 2, this is where the research takes place. There are separate entrances and exits, along with dedicated dissection rooms, virus storage facilities, and multiple labs for distinct animal and cellular level research. French engineers helped in the planning and the construction. But one source tells us the Chinese were initially resistant in adding some basic safety features due to the high cost of some equipment, such as multiple chemical decontamination showers, but that they eventually relented adding them. Some have also questioned the lab staff's training. A 2018 diplomatic cable sent by U.S. officials who made a site visit stated that, quote, the new lab has a serious shortage of appropriately trained technicians and investigators needed to safely operate this high containment laboratory. The cable went on to say that the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, UTMB, has scientific collaborations with WIV, which may help alleviate this talent gap over time. Scott Weaver of UTMB tells me the collaborations with the Wuhan Institute of Virology were minor and did not involve coronavirus research. He has not visited Wuhan's BSL-4 lab, but stresses that the training required for such a lab is extensive.
Typically, the scientists are wearing spacesuits. These are suits that are they're very expensive, very well designed to be airtight, and they're pumped full of filtered air, such that even if an accident occurred in the lab and there was some kind of a spill and an aerosol would be created, that spacesuit would prevent that aerosol from entering the breathing space of the scientists to infect them.
But other red flags came from the Chinese themselves, including WIV's director, Yang Jiming, who in 2018 co-authored a paper pointing out safety issues across all biosafety labs in China, warning in part that there was a lack of enough operable technical standards. But ultimately, many international experts viewed the Wuhan Institute of Virology's BSL-4 as one of the most sophisticated in the world, and its researchers more than competent.
You had a first-class facility, high-class virologists, and well-trained staff. You put all of that together and you'd say, well, I can't exclude a lab accident, It doesn't seem likely.
It also does not rule out the possibility of a leak from another lab in Wuhan. We drove by it last year.
Okay, there you can see right here, this is Wuhan Center for Disease Control. This is one of the labs within Wuhan, and of course, not too far from the market either.
Located just a couple of blocks from the Huanan Seafood Market, in fact. Inside, lower-level biosafety labs that likewise involved the study of bats and coronaviruses. Still, there is one thing lacking in the search for an origin. That is full transparency from and collaboration with the Chinese.
Unfortunately, it's been very disappointing to see that the Chinese government has not been very forthcoming with some of the critical information about the very early stages of the outbreak.
China has shut the door on future visits by the WHO. Chinese officials believe the origins investigation has become politically manipulated by the U.S., especially given Biden's order for an intel community review, one that focuses in part on the lab leak theory.
We do need to have the evidence, and the very people who are calling for it have precluded that from happening. And the longer it takes, the more difficult it's going to be to get a complete picture of what happened. Maybe never. It may be too late now.
Without any concrete proof, experts warn that prematurely concluding COVID-19 started from a lab leak might leave the world and scientific community divided over geopolitics and less prepared for future outbreaks. I want to go back to that BSL-4 lab. Experts we talked to, along with one source, do not believe coronaviruses were even studied there. The lower-level labs, likely. Now, they tend to also side with the likelihood of the natural origins theory. But that does not totally excuse China's early handling or mishandling. As we reported extensively, there was cover-up and the silencing of whistleblowers at the start of the outbreak here. But the search for an origin has become so highly politicized that experts warn the true science behind it may never be known. David Culver, CNN, Beijing.